What is a good bounce rate? Can you give me a benchmark number? I cannot tell you how many times I've had this question over the last couple of years, so it's about time that I make a video about it. In this video I'm gonna tell you what a normal bounce rate looks like and what you can do to improve. Alright, let's dive in. Welcome to the channel, my name is Leon. This channel exists to help you grow your site using your analytics data. I want to thank everyone that has been liking my videos and has subscribed to the channels recently, because that really helps me get these videos out to as many people as I can. And as a way to say thank you, I've created a short cheat sheet with strategies on how you can grow your website traffic. So if you have a new domain and you want to start growing your website traffic, definitely check out that cheat sheet via link in the description. You can have it for free. Also, if you like this video and want to watch more, you can just head over to my profile. You'll find all sorts of videos on how to set up Google Analytics and how to analyze and build reports and how you can grow your website using your analytics data. Alright, let's talk about bounce rate. If you haven't watched last week's video, I really recommend you watch that video also, because in that video I explained the difference between engagement rate and bounce rate. And I also explained that when Google Analytics 4 was released, everything changed. So all the numbers we were used to in the old version of Google Analytics or in other versions of analytics platforms are not applicable to Google Analytics 4, because the whole definition of bounce rate has changed, because reading time is now incorporated in bounce rate. In this video I'm going to give you numbers for a normal bounce rate, but you can easily calculate that back to engagement rate by just reversing the number. So a 20% bounce means an 80% engagement rate, and a 40% bounce means a 60% engagement rate. So engagement rate is really just the inverse of bounce rate. Let's find out what our actual average bounce rate was over the last 12 months. So to do that, we need to go into Google Analytics 4. I'm in the Google Analytics demo account and I'm currently looking at the home page. And what I like to do here is I like to change this to the last 12 months. So I have a lot of data. And then beside users, I like to look at bounce rate. And here I find the average bounce rate of this site is actually really low. It's only 14%. We'll get back on why this is only 14% later in the video. But you can even click into this tile and you can see the trend over the year. And you're probably gonna notice some changes in your setup or in your website if you look at this over the last year. So this is where you find your average bounce rate over the last year from your site. Okay, I'm about to share with you some numbers, but let me preface that shortly by saying that I can only share with you some broad averages. I cannot share actual data sets with you because that would require me to get permission from all of my clients. And since I came up with the video idea this morning, I didn't have time to do that. Maybe somewhere in the future, but I still believe this is really helpful to do. Okay, so what is an actual average bounce rate in GA4? Well, over the last couple of years, I've seen an average bounce rate in the sites that I've analyzed across all different sectors of around 33%. So 1 out of 3 visits to your site results in someone leaving immediately. That's the average. But I've also seen that it really varies. And in my experience, 80% of sites will have their bounce rate somewhere between 20% and 45%. So what does this mean? An average bounce rate of 33%. Well, if your bounce rate is lower than 33%, congratulations, because you may be doing a great job of engaging the visitors that come to your site. However, if your bounce rate is really low and you're not really expecting it, for instance, your bounce rate is 20% or maybe even lower, I really recommend that you check your setup, because there are two really common problems with GA4 setups that cause the bounce rate to be lower than it actually is. Let's go into GA4 and I'll show you what I mean. Alright, I'm back in GA4 and we looked earlier at this Google Analytics demo account and I see that the bounce rate here is 14%. And if the bounce rate is 14%, I can almost guarantee that there's something wrong with the setup. And there are two things that are really common that I see a lot with sites like this. The first problem that I see a lot is double tagging. So your site should really have only one tracking code or tag installed. But what happens is that you're using Google Tag Manager, but you're also using some kind of WordPress plugin, or you're using the GTag manual installation on your site, and you're using them both simultaneously, and that will really mess up your data. So if you have a low bounce rate, that is really something you should check. I will link a video in the description that goes through the installation of Google Analytics 4 and will talk you through the steps. But that is really the first reason why your bounce rate may be lower than it actually is. The second reason is that you have many common events set up or marked as a conversion. And that's the case with this site. Because if Google Analytics 4 sees an event coming in that has been marked as a conversion, that visit will not be counted as a bounce. So on this site, let's look at what conversions have been set up. If I'm going into engagement and then conversions, I see a list of all the events that have been marked as a conversion. And then on this site, two really common events like view item and first visits have been marked as a conversion. So view item is the event that is tracked as soon as someone opens up a product page. And first visit is the event that is automatically tracked as soon as somebody opens up the site for the first time. And those are really common events that do not signal a conversion because they have not made a purchase yet. But still on this site, they are marked as a conversion. And as soon as GA4 sees a conversion coming in, which is a lot of times in this site, it will not count that visit as a bounce. And therefore the bounce rate is really lower than it actually is. Because if somebody opens up a product page for the first time, they might well leave. But you're not measuring it right now because a view item event has been set up as a conversion. Usually, if you do not have a pressing reason to mark these kinds of events as a conversion, I really recommend that you do not do so. Alright, but what should you do if your bounce rate is actually higher than 33%? Well, I've already said that a bounce rate of 33% up to 45% is still really common. But there are a couple of things you can do to decrease the bounce rate of your site. And generally speaking, there are two factors that determine if people stay or leave on your site. And the first factor is your traffic source. So your traffic source are all your advertisements that you put out, but also the keywords that you write your SEO strategy towards. And in your strategy, in your traffic sources, the question you can think about is, in your traffic sources, am I targeting a broad audience, a really general audience, or am I targeting a really narrow audience, a really specific audience? So for instance, if you're selling network systems, if you're installing network systems in smaller companies, you can do two things. You can target everyone that's interested in network systems, but that also includes homeowners, consumers that just do it themselves, that purchase a system from an online store and just install it themselves. That's not really your audience. The same broad audience also includes like the larger corporations, and you're not working for them either. So instead of targeting like a really wide audience, you could also just try to narrow your targeting to exclude potential users that will not buy either. So in the same way, you can also think about this in cold audiences or hot audiences. So a hot audience would mean that that audience is already looking to buy what you're selling. So that means I'm a small business owner and I want to upgrade my Wi-Fi installation to make it faster. That's exactly someone that is specific, but also a warm lead. You can also target colder audiences, so people that are inside of your niche, but are not actively looking to purchase. So in general, if you want to improve bounce rate on your site and you want to do that through your traffic sources, try to target narrow, specific audiences that are also warm, preferably, because those audiences usually have a much lower bounce rate than a broader, colder audiences. So the second factor that really determines bounce rate is your landing page. And there are a million things to talk about here, but I want to give you three things. First of all, please check if your landing page works on all devices. So is it fast enough on mobile devices and does it function well? You do not know the amount of times I've seen landing pages that didn't work. Please, please, please check. Secondly, you want the landing page of your site to match the ad or the post that they clicked on. So if people clicked on an advertisement that said, do you want a faster Wi-Fi connection? The landing page should match that same message. They should not come into your homepage. They should not come into some strange page that's on a different subject. You should make a landing page that is on the same topic as the topic that people clicked on from social media or some advertisement or your email, whatever it is that they clicked on before they entered your site. And thirdly, you want to apply the 5-second rule. And the 5-second rule is within 5 seconds of entering, a user should be able to determine if the page is for them or not. And preferably, you want to include a big promise at the top of the page so people are triggered to find out more about your product. Alright, that's it for today. I hope this video was clear, I hope it was helpful. Did I miss something or do you have any question? Please leave your comment down below this video. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.